Welcome to episode 56 of Shane Talks. Kind of a Christmassy episode, going to be a little different episode this year, but do you know what the greatest Christmas present I got this year was? That was when Micah Scott Winters wrote that intro that you just heard to this episode. Like, that still makes me so happy every time I see it at the beginning of an episode. That is awesome. As always, I am joined by the greatest co-host in the history of podcasting, the one, the only, Jason L. Mayer. What's up, dude? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you, Shane?
I like that Santa hat, man. That's pretty awesome. We got a lot of traditional stuff to talk about tonight. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit different episode. Normally, we have a movie or TV theme or something like that we talk about. We will touch on some topics around that, but tradition is what we're going to be talking about this week. You and I have a couple of traditions going back over the, 25 years that we've known each other. One of them, for the last 15 years, you have run our fantasy football league. We've gone from years that we've had 8 people to years that we had 16 people. We're kind of around 12-ish most years now. So crazy year in our fantasy football this year, whereas your brother's in first place. And then there's, 2 through 9 all have the exact same record?
I know that 2 through 6 do. I don't know.
If 9, okay.
Right now it's 2 through 6, but yeah, the exact. And then here I'm pulling it up real quick.
Cool.
Yeah, my brother leads by 2 games over everybody else. 2 through 6 are all the same, and then 7 through 9 are only 1 game behind that. So.
Yeah, crazy. So this year, most years, it's the top couple of people just run away with it. This year has been close all season. At one point, there was a 5-way tie for first place.
Yeah, something crazy.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Unfortunately, I have to admit, you and I played in week 1, and then we just played last week, which would have been week 12, I think. And what's your record against me?
Am I 2-0 against you?
You're 2-0 against me. It sucks. But yeah, so you have beaten me both times this year, which was not very nice of you, but yeah. So you and I have the same record right now, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many losses?
I'm in second place. I'm 7-5. You're 7-5, and you're in fourth.
Fourth. So. All right. So of my 5 losses, 2 of them are to you, which is ridiculous. One of them was to your brother, who beat me because I had the wrong New England Patriot in my lineup. If I had put in the other New England Patriot running back that week, I would have beat your brother. That's just poor management on my part. But yeah, so fantasy football, thank you for being our, what was it called? Commissioner for the last 15 years. Very, very much fun every year to do that with you. Another tradition that we have, you were super heavily involved with it in the beginning. And then unfortunately our works just kind of kept us apart for a few years. Well, you living in Boston didn't help either. But that is the Shane Day tradition that started for me back in 1997. By 2000, you started coming around to Shane Day. I can't remember if you were there in 99. I can't remember. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 97.
I want to say that was the first year that we did, because I think we were writing Consternate and hanging out so much at the point that I would have gone with you, because I'm silly and stupid. So.
But yeah, so I feel like 99 was probably the first year you went. I know for a fact by 2000 you were there. No, yeah. But yeah, so last year I did an entire episode on the Shane Day tradition and whatnot, but you weren't able to be on that episode last year. So any thoughts or feelings or anything you want to share about Shane? Any stories you've got from Shane Day that you remember having the best Shane Day time? Or those who aren't aware, that didn't listen to last year's episode, Shane Day is the day after Thanksgiving. Previously, Thanksgiving night, after we were all done with our family stuff, a bunch of us would get together, a lot of times at a movie theater. We'd hang out until around 3 a.m. when Best Buy opened around 5 a.m., usually 5 to 6 a.m. Around 3 a.m., we would go get in line at Best Buy, whatever group of friends, they're 3 to 5 to 6 or 8 of us sometimes. We would get together. We'd go wait in line in Best Buy. When Best Buy opened, we'd rush in there. We'd spread out. Somebody be in charge of CDs. Somebody be in charge of movies. somebody would be in charge of the blank CDRs or DVRs or whatever. Usually that was Zach. But so then we would shop all morning. We'd go get breakfast at McDonald's, and then we'd all go home, take a nap, sleep. I would put up my Christmas decorations that day, and then we would meet back up at night downtown Indianapolis for the Circle of Lights tree lighting. And then many years we would, go party together afterwards, either back at my place or at a bar. We'd have a big blowout shindig party. But yeah, so Jason, what Shane Day memories do you have?
Well, you still have not touched on the fact that Shane Day got its name from me.
Correct. So, you're correct.
Yes. The day after Black Friday ended up becoming synonymous with Shane Day in our group of friends, just because it meant so much to you. Yep. And yeah, getting together and doing all that fun, crazy stuff before we had kids and responsibilities was a whole lot of fun. Definitely years and years of lots of good memories. We used to play poker quite a lot, and some of those nights we definitely got to play poker for anywhere from 3 to 5, 3 to 6 hours, something like that, and have a big tournament. My favorite was the year that we were in Castleton Arts, and we definitely got to, I don't know, what was that? It was something like 16 people, 12
I think
people.
We had 18. I think we had 3 full tables with 6 people at each table.
Yeah. Yep. And so, yeah, that was like the pinnacle of awesomeness for our gambling times. Sure. But
it should have been like 04, right? Because 05 you would have been already over at the new Castle or Keystone Theater.
Yeah, would that be right? November 05 we opened up over there. So yeah, it was probably 03, 04.
Cool.
So,
yeah, somewhere around there.
So yeah, but yeah, wonderful times, great tradition, lots of fun. I'm glad that this year I got to come with you down to the Christmas tree lighting, even though I should have listened to the guy who goes every year compared to the guy who hadn't been there for 8 years. So
that's all right, man. It was whatever.
Next year, I'll listen to you when you tell me where we should line up. So
well, and I mean, like, it wouldn't have really been as bad if the video monitor on the south side didn't go out. Like, that was really the only big problem. Is 20 minutes in, the video feed went out on our side of the monument, and then we didn't get to watch the rest of the thing until the tree lit up. Yeah. So what Jason wasn't aware, Jason's last time he came was in 2013. Like I said previously, I always didn't have to work on Shane Day. It was a holiday. I used PTO for it. Like I did not work on Shane Day, which unfortunately screwed Jason over and forced him to have to work most years. So 2013 was the last time he was there. A couple of years ago, they moved where the stage was for this. And when I was trying to explain to Jason, hey, the stage is now on the north side instead of the south side, I wasn't conveying that properly. I was like, we usually, go around to the east side and we watch the stage diagonally because you can't stand in front of the stage anymore because of this stupid decision they made. But we had a decent amount of people there this year. And so with everybody talking and me trying to explain it didn't come across to Jason what was going on. So he thought the stage was still on the south side. And then we're watching the video feed because, in your defense, many of the years we were so far back when everybody was on the south side, all we could see was the video monitors. So yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand why they had the walkway, like the separate, like the dividers where Santa usually came between the crowd. There's no reason to have those on the south side anymore because Santa didn't even come down them. So I don't understand why that was there. Yeah. Kind of dumb and confusing, but next year we'll go stand on the east side and we'll get to hopefully see more of it. But yeah, so it was absolutely awesome to have you back after missing you for 8 years.
So your next tradition that you were gonna
do the kids like it? Yeah, you're good. How did your kids like it?
Fine.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, I think because I kind of told them Santa was coming.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
And Santa didn't. They didn't get to see Santa at all, but at least they got to see him the next night at Conner Prairie. So that would all
awesome. I know after the tree lighting, you guys went up to the tree and walked around. Did they happen to? Was Santa still on stage by chance when you guys went up there?
We didn't go that far around. We stayed on the east side of the monument, and we didn't get far enough around to see the stage at all. So
Gotcha.
No big deal.
Third tradition that we've got that same tradition, different artists with us is every single year since my first one was 2009. I actually think it's earlier than that. I think 2007 was my first one, but I couldn't find any pictures from it. But I go to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert every year, and you go to the Straight No Chaser concert every year. So tell me the story. I know it's a big thing with you and your wife. When did that start? How many times have you guys been? Like, I want to know the history of the Straight No Chaser with you guys.
Well, I actually got into Straight No Chaser while I was down at IU. So acapella group at IU. That's where they started. And so I got into them while I was down at IU. When I came back, I was still listening to them for a while. And then, I stopped listening to them for years. And not because I disliked them, just because I fell out of favor. Or they fell out of favor with my rotating list. And sorry for my dogs being butt heads.
Oh, that's all right.
So they, then one, I'm driving around, going to work in Massachusetts, in Waltham, Massachusetts. And all of a sudden I start hearing the 12 Days of Christmas that they are so famous for.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there like, this is really weird. This is Straight No Chaser. There's no way that I'm listening to this properly on the radio right now. They wouldn't be playing that in Massachusetts, but apparently they went viral with their video of that song, and Sony Music signed them up, and they ended up signing a contract, and now they've had multiple releases of Christmas albums since then. They play and they go on concert tours every year pretty much. And they've done a lot of mix-ups with major stars like Dolly Parton and Elton John and some other guys and stuff like that. So, and other girls. But yeah, so my wife and I started going to that concert, just the two of us. And then we started incorporating more friends that wanted to join us. I can't remember what year that started. I know I've seen him at least, I want to say it's at least 5, if not 6 times.
That's awesome. Were you guys both into them, or did you get Letha into them?
She got into him because of me listening to him.
Nice.
And because she's a huge Christmas person like yourself, she definitely is. She definitely got into their Christmas albums more than I did. I like their Christmas albums. They're fine, but I also just enjoy the acapella music that they do. And they do everything from pop and country to old time music and soul and stuff. So if you've never heard of them, go check them out. They're really cool.
You've also got another special story to tell about a Straight No Chaser concert.
Oh yeah. So 4 years ago this year, we were at the concert. I had come home from work that day, and when I walked in the door, I could tell my wife was uncomfortable. And so she at the time was 9 months pregnant and was supposed to pop our kid out on December 31st, I think was her due date. I think. No. He might. I'm sorry. I want to say the middle of January, maybe. Anyway, so whatever the case may be, she came home, noticed she was uncomfortable, and said, "Hey, what are we going to this concert tonight?" And she said, "Jason, this is the one concert I look forward to every year. This baby can wait until after the concert." And sure enough, little Lucas decided to pop out a little bit early, but he did wait and let my wife enjoy the concert, even though she was timing her contractions while they were singing on the stage. She kept pulling up her phone and like checking it every 2 to 3 minutes. And and we called the doctor on the way home. We had carpooled with 2 other couples. And while we were driving home from downtown Indy back to the northeast side of Fishers, she was definitely calling the doctor and saying, "Hey, I think it's time for me to pop this kid out."
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So it's a fun little story. I even got chastised by one of my friend's dads. He was like, "What are you doing letting your wife go to this?" I was like, My response was literally, "Have you met my wife?"
If she wanted, if she said she wanted to go to the show, she was going.
Yep, there was no Lucas could wait, apparently.
So my concert every year is the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. I love the rock music. I love the laser light show. I love the feeling of being there. Some friends of mine, I was right after my divorce, which is why I think 2007 was the first time I went, but I went back through all my old photos, and the farthest back I could find was 2009. So I know for a fact 2009, 2010, 2012, 13, 14. I know they skipped Indianapolis in 2015. They went to Terre Haute instead. I don't know if there was an issue with scheduling at Conseco Fieldhouse, but they didn't even come here, so that wasn't my fault for missing them then. 2016 was the first year that Caitlin and I went together. So her and I went in 2016 and 2017. And then in 2018, we decided it was time to start taking Lily with us. So Lily's been to one show. Her first ever show that she was at, we were in row 7, and one of the guitar players flicked his guitar pick at her. So she got a guitar pick from the first show she ever went to. I would have been on show like 8 or 9 at this point and never got anything cool like that from any band member. Last year, so 2018 was the last year that we got to go. For whatever reason, in 2019, their tour did not come to Indianapolis. And then last year, obviously, there was this thing called COVID going on in 2020's holiday time, so they had to do a virtual show online, which didn't Straight No Chaser do a virtual one also?
Yep.
Did you guys watch that?
Yep.
Nice. So, yeah. So I'm happy that on December 22nd, I will be going back to Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and you are going to Straight No Chaser. Now it's Sunday the 19th?
Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, and on Saturday the 18th, you and I will both, not together, but both be at the same Colts-Patriots game.
Yes, we will.
Obviously wearing different jerseys.
Yes, we will.
So anyway, I'm curious what other family traditions the Mayer family has. What other things do you make sure you do every year at Christmas time?
Every year we break out the Christmas tree on Shane Day. Most people call it Black Friday. Yeah, we usually do the tree on that day. And then I allow her to turn it on. What am I kidding? She tells me when to do this, but I don't like turning on the Christmas lights on the exterior of the house before that day, but that's the first day that they're allowed to turn on. Gotcha. I usually try to hang them a couple of weeks ahead of time whenever we get some good weather.
Nice.
Just so that I don't have to fight it if it's cold out that day. And we can focus on the inside. But yeah, so we put up lights before around that time. We put up the tree around that time. And then the only other thing is that every year, the last 2 years we've done the 2 years ago we did the Polar Express ride near Terre Haute. And so we did that 2 years ago. Last year we did one over at the Sullivan Hardware. They've got this like weird Santa's Village with like an electric, or maybe it's a gasoline powered train.
Yep.
That runs around their lumber yard essentially, and you get to meet Santa. That's fine. This year we're doing a reindeer ride on a train, which is up in Noblesville. It rides the nickel plate train ride.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's a big one for us. When I couldn't get down for the lighting of the Circle of Lights, we used to do a tradition of going down there and walking around downtown one night, and also eating at the old spaghetti factory.
Oh, delicious.
It's fine. I feel like it's overpriced food that I could get at almost any like cafeteria.
Okay.
For the most part. Sorry for any old spaghetti lovers out there, but yeah, it's old, like MCL cafeteria old as far as I'm concerned. Like,
see, I enjoy it, but granted, I haven't been there in a couple of years.
It's fine,
but I liked it when I went the last time.
But yeah, so we used to do that, but now that we don't go for that, no big deal there. And then we went to Connor. We did something new this year. We went to Connor Prairie for their Merry Prairie Christmas or whatever.
I saw that.
Kind of cool.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, and all the kids really enjoyed it. And I think they enjoyed the fact that we were spending something like $70 on like all the different food and stupid crap that's there.
I saw the picture with the reindeer, and when I saw it, I thought it was real at first. And then my second time that I looked at it, I saw the little wooden things that they were on. But the first time I looked at it, I thought you were with some real reindeer.
Yeah, those are cool. We used to every year go to Jingle holidays over at the Children's Museum.
Oh, okay.
Christmas at the zoo. But
I've done Christmas at the zoo.
We didn't do either one of those last year. And I don't know if I don't think we have any plans to do it this year, but so
right on. I know this year we're looking at my family is looking at doing the Deer Creek lights that they've got going on up there. Not interested in that?
Well, last year we did the one that the drive through of the state fairgrounds.
Yep.
And it's just like they're cool-ish.
Sure. Yeah.
For the fact that you got to pay like 20, 30 or $40 or whatever for your car to get in. Like,
yep.
I don't know. Like, to tell you the truth, one of the things that Letha used to do it all the time when I was working at the theater and working nights. But we did it last year when we weren't really open.
Yeah, we weren't.
No, yeah. We didn't do anything last year for at the theater. So, no. But yeah, when last year, like, and we've done it in previous times. She did a lot more before me, though, is just driving around neighborhoods and seeing people's Christmas lights.
Oh,
and
yeah.
To be completely honest, it doesn't cost me anything extra except we're going out to dinner most likely because we're just having fun and being silly. But I'm also not dropping $40 for my vehicle to drive through light.
Yeah. Back when it was free, did you guys ever do the Reynolds Farm?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. So Reynolds Farm was pretty cool. And we've also, we did, like 4 or 5 years ago, they did you could drive around the IMS track. That was very overpriced in my opinion. It was like $40 a car. I didn't feel like it was that exciting. It literally felt like the exact same stuff when we did the state fairgrounds also. I don't remember how much that was, but it was definitely probably not worth it. The fact that Deer Creek is only $20, like, I feel like I'm okay with that. Like, it's $20 worth of entertainment. But I'm like, there's no way I would ever do multiples of these in a year. But paying $20 to do one that I haven't done to see, I mean, I love Deer Creek for what it is. So getting to drive around that, I'll be down for that.
Yeah, but do you drive into Deer Creek or are you just driving around their parking lot again? Like,
I think it's like, I don't know. Like, I've driven by it and seen the lights, and it kind of looks like you get like, I don't know if you're actually going inside the amphitheater area, but like it's not just in their parking lot. It doesn't look like I think you get to go. Like, I know you go back into like the VIP section and stuff like that. So like, I think you might get to like go under where the buses go and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't done it yet. So once I do it, I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's not something that excites me as far as spending that amount of money to do something like that. So
sure, I do miss Reynolds Farm and when it was free because that was a very much fun to do.
And Reynolds Farm, like, they donated all those lights to Conner Prairie. So like,
oh, okay.
Like literally the entire light display is at Conner Prairie now.
Nice.
So what you just walk around.
Did it cost anything to go to Conner Prairie?
Well, we're members, and it ended up. I think she said it was like $10 a person or something like that.
That's not bad.
No, it was fine.
As far as traditions go with us, we try to watch as many holiday movies as we can. We kind of try to aim for at least every other night watching a holiday movie. As of now, since Shane Day, I have watched, there was one day on Shane Day, I watched like 4 holiday movies. I've averaged at least 2 a day since then. Until tonight, I won't end up watching any holiday movies tonight, which kind of sucks, but life goes on. But always on Christmas Eve, there's 2 things that we watch no matter what. It's a Charlie Brown Christmas, which I watch it, 30 times this month. But we always make sure we watch it as a family on Christmas Eve. And then there is a little known Lifetime Christmas movie called Secret Santa that I am an advocate for. It has Jeannie Garth in it, who I have a huge crush on. But it's set in Indiana. If you listen to either of our holiday episodes last year, I ranted and raved about this movie at to no end.
Nauseum.
Yeah, ad nauseum. Thank you. But yeah, so we always, because luckily my wife loves this movie also, so we are able to sit down as a family. I have no idea how Lily feels about it, but we force her to watch it with us. So Christmas Eve, we always watch Secret Santa. Also, it's set in Indiana. It feels like the right thing to watch as a family on Christmas Eve. Because stuff like Elf, Christmas Vacation, Home Alone, those were playing like nonstop. Like we'll put those on when we're like doing stuff around the house because we've seen them thousands of times. But like watching Secret Santa is something we make sure we do as a family. Like I watch it like 10 times a year at least, if not more. I've already watched it once here already. So yeah, so those are the real only traditions we have. My wife's father's company throws a Christmas party every year, but they didn't do it last year, and we're not going to be able to go this year. So I don't know if that's really a tradition anymore. But for a long time, like when Lily was a lot younger, like Santa comes to the Christmas party, and like all the parents tell the company what they want from Santa and stuff like that. So it's really cool it's fun to go and watch the really young kids like freak out when they get stuff they want from Santa. So that's always cool. So that's the act one of what we're going to talk about tonight. I realized we skipped completely over what are you drinking tonight?
Just got some water, dude.
I'm drinking Dogfish Head Lemon Quest. It's a non-alcoholic lemon wheat beer. It's actually one of the better non-alcoholics I've had recently. It has a really good lemon flavor to it, but as with many of these NAs, it sucks. I am really excited
real sex machine.
I am really excited though because BrewDog released a 12 NA beers of Christmas. So I bought that. I've got it coming to me. They're supposed to ship them the first week of December, so I should get it here soon. I'll report back if any of those are worth anything when we do our last episode of the year, episode 57, which is going to come out on New Year's Eve. So
my question for you is, what was it that you're drinking again tonight?
Dogfish Head Lemon Quest.
Dogfish Head Lemon Quest. My brother Michael was asking if you've ever found a non-alcoholic beer that was decent.
Tell Michael that this one is decent. As long as you like lemon, like it kind of tastes like a crappy watered down lemonade, kind of. Like it does have, like, the weird thing is it calls itself a wheat beer. It doesn't taste like a wheat beer. It tastes like a super light shitty beer that just happens to have some lemon flavor to it. So, but because I do like lemon, the lemon flavor is pretty good. But it still just isn't that great. So yeah, we'll see what BrewDog ends up sending me. It's 12 cans of 12 different beers. It's 1 can, 12 cans, 1 beer of each different kind.
My wife bought a wine advent calendar.
I saw her Facebook post about that. Was it the Costco one? Or Aldi?
No. Where did she get that? Target, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
Anyway, so she bought that. And my wife and I I'm not a huge wine drinker by any stretch. Sure. And neither is she, even though I think she tries to convince herself she wants to become a wine drinker.
Well, she spent time in France.
She's never been that much of a drinker, period. So, so we both had, like, it comes with like little mini bottles, which is essentially just a glass of wine. Mm-hmm. And due to the fact that we're going to be gone for 5 days, the entire plan was for us to share one of these mini bottles every night, but like for the next 5 days or whatever, the first 5 days of the month, we're just doubling it. So she gets one and I get one.
Right on.
And I'm not a big fan of red wine still. I think it's kind of gross. I don't know why people drink it.
So today's day one. So one of you guys opened it. What was the other day that you opened on the calendar?
The 10th, because we won't be here on the 10th.
Cool.
Night, so
right on.
Yeah.
So you're just drinking water tonight?
Yep, I'm just drinking water because my stomach is not happy with me for drinking wine. So
gotcha. So another thing that we usually do at the top of the episode that we just jumped into. You watched Hawkeye?
I did.
Did you watch the third episode?
No.
Okay. All right. So we will only discuss the first two. Out of the 4 Marvel shows we've got so far, I actually think that this one has started off the best, in my opinion.
It's definitely I like the adventure action aspect of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Sure.
But this feels like a Marvel. This feels a little bit more like a Marvel show to me.
Sure.
Like it's very light. So far, which I enjoy. It's one of the aspects of Marvel that I always liked. And so it's kind of nice to have something that's a little bit on the light side. And Hawkeye, who doesn't like Jeremy Renner? Like,
sure.
Ever since I first saw him, like the first time I ever saw him was in an episode of Angel way back. Okay. And but like, you know, his iconic roles and like Hurt Locker, which I absolutely love. I know you don't.
Well, I saw him in The Town. I think it was the first thing I saw him in.
Oh yeah. No, you saw Hurt Locker before The Town.
So. Did I see it before? Okay.
But The Town is like my favorite role he's ever had.
Oh yeah.
And it's just because like everybody knows that guy.
Yep.
Whether you like him or not, you probably grew up with a guy friend who is just like Jeremy Renner's character in that movie. So
for sure, I definitely agree with that.
So yeah, I think he's a great actor. I enjoy his Hawkeye. I'm hoping that the red herrings that they're giving us in the show are stuff where I'm like not going to be correct.
Gotcha.
So hopefully I'll watch the third episode and find out if who knows? It's only 6 episodes long. It's already halfway done.
And that's the thing. Like, so I watched it this morning, and like I really like episode 3. It like 1, 2, and 3 have all been really good in my opinion. But like when 3 got over, I was like, we're halfway done, and like not a whole lot has really happened at this point. So like we'll see what happens in the last 3. But yeah, when it was over, again, I really liked it. There's a lot of good action in episode 3, and there's fleshing out of a character in episode 3 that I was like, oh, all right, I see where you're probably going to go with this. But yeah, as far as like, I don't know, without spoiler talking, like not really sure exactly where they're going to go with some of the stuff. Like you said, some of the stuff they're leading us to believe right now.
Oh, and I've got a theory that I meant to talk to you about, and we can talk about it off screen because I don't.
We'll do it. Yeah. So yeah, with the last time when we saw each other on Friday, I wanted to talk to you about Hawkeye too, and completely forgot. And we were with the right. Well, Big Mike was there, and he would have been the great person to talk to you about the show.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I have not gotten into Masters of the Universe yet. Have you watched the second half yet?
I fell asleep on the first episode because I was really, really tired when I started. But yeah, I'm interested to go see the rest of that second half. So
sure. It's one of those funny things where I've seen comments online where people were like, we're sorry for everything we said about the first half. You made up for it in the second half. And I'm like, now I really I can't wait to see it because I didn't have any problems with the first half. I liked it for what it was. So like if these people are like, okay, we apologize for not liking the first half, I'm like, I'm probably going to love the second half. So I need to make time for that. So I know you're not a Colts fan, but have you had any interest in Hard Knocks at all? Or has your wife watched Hard Knocks at all?
We don't have that.
Oh, you don't have HBO Max?
Oh, wait, we do have that. No,
I thought you did. That's okay.
We do for the current moment. Who knows how long I'll have it, but yeah, I haven't turned it on.
Okay.
I keep forgetting it exists.
Gotcha.
My wife literally only watches like The Voice and Hallmark movies right now. Like that's it. Even when I turn on Friends, once she gets the remote, it's back to Hallmark.
I can't lie. So I have YouTube TV. I've had YouTube TV for a couple of years. Channels come and go from there all the time. This year, like a week before Thanksgiving, they added all 3 of the Hallmark channels to YouTube TV. So I've been able to literally put on, like I've seen 3 or 4 Christmas movies that I've never heard of before because I'll just turn it on and I'll start watching whatever is on there. So, and Candace Cameron Bure is in like at least 2 a day. So I don't mind watching anything that she's in.
Lacey J. Burke too.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of them also. So I've gotten to watch a couple of cheesy and corny. Caitlin and I kind of decided that this year what we really want to do. We'll still watch our regular ones that we watch, but we want to watch as many of the like Netflix Christmas movies or like Hallmark Christmas movies, like ones that we've never seen before, just to watch them. So that's kind of what we're trying to do this year. Have you seen anything else? Well, what was the last thing that you and I went to the theater and saw together? It's been a while now.
Oh, Ghostbusters was the last thing.
No, Ghost absolutely loved. I don't even remember if we ever talked about it.
Last
we did.
We talked about it with Jaybird. So.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, so for the community poll, when I asked anybody about their traditions, we didn't get a whole lot of responses, but we've at least got 4 to talk about. One of them was super long, so I'm condensing it down. Eric, love you. Sorry, but it was really long. But my friend Holly, that I went to high school with, she said that on Thanksgiving they watch Garfield's Thanksgiving, which I do as well. They gather with the family to eat turkey. Friday she does shopping and then always watches White Christmas, which is her favorite Christmas movie. Which is something that she started when her and her dad would watch that movie together. Her dad was an awesome gentleman. She lost him a couple of years ago. Very, very sad to see Carl Sr. Pass away. So then they watch Die Hard because her husband is a huge fan of Die Hard and claims that he can't start the Christmas season until he sees Hans Gruber fall from Nakatomi Plaza. Helps him get into the Christmas spirit. They celebrate St. Nick's, which is something that I have never heard of before. Do you know what St. Nick's is?
Is that the German shoe thing?
I think it might be because somebody else mentioned the same thing. My friend Brandy elaborated on a little bit more. It's a German Catholic day where kids get gold coins, chocolate covered gold coins in their shoes. And I vaguely remember this from when I lived in Germany. I think my parents made us put our shoes outside. But that's the only reason I even vaguely think I remember this. Yeah, but you've never heard of it or done it?
I don't practice it, but yeah, sure. I've heard of it.
You've heard of it? Okay, cool. But yeah. So the other thing that's the last of Holly's. Do you have a family movie tradition at all? Is there anything that you guys always watch every year as a family, or is it just kind of whatever?
To be completely honest, this is going to be the second year where I'm home for a lot of it. So it's a lot different the last year and this year than it ever has been. So yeah, the only other Christmas tradition that I can think of that we do is until COVID happened last year, my mom used to come over and we used to do a cookie day.
Oh,
all the grandkids and my mom and I used to do that while Letha was at work usually.
Nice.
She was there a couple of years, but I know that we did it. But with COVID, we kind of have put that on hold. So
got you. So my buddy Eric, and again, Eric, I apologize if you're listening. I had to cut down your response. It was awesome, and I loved reading all about it. But it was just a lot for me to read right now. But he claims that a lot of his family traditions center around food. He makes an oyster dressing, but he only ever makes it on Thanksgiving Day. That sounds absolutely disgusting to me, so I'm okay not eating oyster dressing. On Christmas Eve, his family makes cinnamon rolls from scratch so that they can rise overnight and be ready to bake on Christmas morning. His wife makes caramel fudge and other candies, homemade candy, which sounds delicious. The kids started making candy bark recently. His kids are, I want to say they're both college-age kids now. They were both really young when I knew Eric, like 15 years ago, so I'm pretty sure they're both college age kids. One of them might actually be out of college. On Christmas Eve, he gives both of his pairs of kids pajamas, although he says that now that they've kind of stopped growing, they don't do that every year anymore. Where was it? And then they watch a Christmas movie. And then a few years ago, they started hunting for the perfect Christmas tree, like actually going out and doing real Christmas trees, which always just invokes the opening scene of Christmas Vacation for me when I think about people who do that. I've been a fake tree person my entire life. Have you ever had a real tree, Jason?
I fought it tooth and nail. We used to get them when I was younger with my parents. They stopped probably in the early 90s at least, if not before then. We went to a fake tree, but then Lethus wanted one in the house for years, and I finally caved last year.
Really?
So we had a real tree last year. We'll get it, and if we can find a real tree when we come back from our Disney trip, we'll we decided not to get one this year as of right now.
Okay.
We're gonna probably look around right when we get back from Disney and try to find one to put up at that point.
So as of right now, you don't have a tree up in your house at all?
We do. We do one upstairs that's in our loft. And that's like the kids get to decorate that one, whereas my wife gets to decorate the downstairs real tree. Or we used to have two fake trees in the house, one downstairs that my wife would do, and then one upstairs the kids would do.
Nice.
But we gave once we decided we were doing a real tree, then we gave the second one away. And then now we are back down to one. So right now there is a Christmas tree in the house. It's upstairs, but that's not where we celebrate Christmas or anything. It's just so the kids can decorate it and have fun.
So when you come back from Florida, like you're either buying a real tree or you're buying another fake tree, right? Like you're going to have a downstairs tree of some kind?
Oh, no.
No?
Like it's either real tree or no tree.
Oh.
We'll celebrate Christmas upstairs this year if we need to.
Right on. My friend Brandy, she commented that they always get new pajamas to wear on Christmas morning. And kids get to open one present on Christmas Eve. Do you guys do that, the Christmas Eve thing?
We never did. We don't do that currently. I did it all the time growing up. My parents always allowed us to have one. It usually ended up being a Christmas gift that was from my grandparents, typically, just because my parents were procrastinators. Can't imagine where I get it from. They would wrap almost every single present on Christmas
Eve. Nice. So. Well, yeah, and like when you're a young kid, like that's kind of the way to do it. Like that's what you know what? I don't know if my parents actually wrapped them on Christmas Eve, but they weren't under the tree when we were really young until we went to bed. Like we went to bed with 2 or 3 presents from mom and dad under the tree. Once we went to bed, they brought everything out and did it on Christmas Eve night to make it look like Santa brought them all.
I mean, Santa did bring them all.
Santa did bring them all that night. So it was kind of hit and miss with me because it also depended on if we were traveling back to Iowa or Minnesota for Christmas. I remember some years we did get to open presents on Christmas Eve, but not often. When Lily was younger, we used to let her open one on Christmas Eve. But once she learned the truth about Santa, that opening on Christmas Eve went away. That was when Brandy explained about they also celebrate St. Nicholas Day every year. And then the last one that anybody posted was our friend Claire talked about her Buckeye making cookie day. Cookies and Buckeyes, which when I saw Claire on a more regular basis, that was always my favorite day to see her. When she would show up at the bar that night, she'd essentially have gift bags for us that had the cookies that she made that day, which she makes the German cookie that I like, that I'm drawing a blank on the name of it right now. Oh, I can't remember what the German cookie's called, but she would make those and some other cookies and then Buckeyes. And
Lebkuchen?
Yes, she would make those. And bring them, and that was always cool to see her and get to be a little, because I want to say it's with her sister and some other family members and whatnot, and they just literally bake and cook shit all day long. So yeah, and this would have been the point where I asked you if you had any kind of cooking or baking traditions in your family, but you've already given us that answer.
Oops,
jumped the gun a little bit there, buddy. So anyway,
my mom makes Lebkuchen almost every year.
Nice. I need to get some of that from her some year.
So yeah, she makes homemade Lebkuchen. So that's that. And then my wife usually likes to make multiple cookies of some sort at home. So I'll tell you what, I'm sad because I don't get to see Joe Langless's mom very often anymore. And Joe, if you're listening to this episode by any chance, I need your mom or your wife to get me some of their Christmas cookies because I love it when they I love it when they make Christmas cookies. So,
all right, well, so Act 3. Let's start talking about your big trip you got coming up on the 10th that you've already kind of like hinted at. I'm so excited for you, dude.
Yeah, super excited. Our friend Lee is there currently.
Nice.
Finished up over at Disney World and is currently in the middle of his 4-day trek through Universal. So kudos to him. He sent me some really cool pictures. Both of his kids got to create their own lightsabers.
Oh, yes.
Lee
didn't do one for himself?
He didn't do one for himself, but
he
said that he got to be in there and
nice.
Watch it happen and watch them ignite their lightsabers. And he said it was amazing.
Dude, I can't wait for you to do it. Like, again, our old boss, Tim, warned me and said I've heard it's an emotional thing. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, sure, I get to go build a lightsaber. It'll be cool. I can't even begin to explain how emotional I got from it. Like, just being there and doing it, and the process the story they tell you while you're doing it, and then the process of you doing it, like, just culminates in a magical moment. And I can't wait for you to have it. I can't wait to see your lightsaber, to compare our lightsabers. Like, it's going to be fucked up if we both make the exact same lightsaber, but we'll see what happens. Are you still going in not knowing anything about the lightsabers?
For the most part, yeah. I think I came across something that showed me all the different versions, but I didn't study them or anything.
Okay, because there's one of them that's really ugly, and I just really hope you don't get that one.
It's a poster. It was a poster I saw that had a breakdown of all the different igniters and the buttons and and everything else. And so I kind of glanced that real quick.
Of the 4 potential sets, I legitimately think you should look at it just to make sure you get something you actually are going to love the way it looks. Because like I said, one of them is a bone lightsaber thing, and I just think it looks ugly. It's not my jam, so I'm afraid you're going to end up with that. Or I'm afraid you're going to end up with a Sith lightsaber, because then, bro, we're going to have beef.
I've got Luke, and Luke's my son, man. So, if I end up with the Sith, I end up with the Sith, baby.
Oh, dude, but I cannot wait.
Anakin, I always was light, but now I go dark.
Oh, man, don't do that to me, bro.
Whatever happens, it's gonna be awesome. I know it will be. I'm trying to. My daughter at one point was like, "Wait a minute, you're building a lightsaber? Do we all get to build lightsabers?" And
nice.
My wife was a very quick no. She was like, that's what Dad's doing. And she was like, oh, okay. It's get over it. You're fine. Maybe I'm sure you can go and build your own, but
she's probably a little young to appreciate it for the value that it is. You could probably get her a cheaper one.
I don't know who's going to go with me either. We'll see, because we're doing all 4 parks, but the first day we're going to Animal Kingdom during the day and Epcot at night. And then that's on the Saturday. And then on the Sunday morning, or on Sunday, we're going to the Magic Kingdom, but we have special tickets that keep us there until the potential to keep us there until 1 a.m.
Oh, nice.
And because of their Christmas party. And
cool.
My building of the lightsaber is the next morning at 9:05. And so I don't know if any of my kids are going to be awake or alive to come hang out with me while I do that. But that's Lee told me one of the things that he did was as soon as they got in the park, as soon as they got into Hollywood Studios, they ran over and got on Smuggler's Run.
Oh, cool.
And they did it back to back because there was nobody in line.
Wow.
Yeah, because that was the first thing they went to was that. And he said it was really cool because there's 4 seats, and each person has their own thing to do. And he said that they all switched. They played round robin on the second one, so nobody did the same thing twice.
Oh, cool.
And he thought it was really cool and different.
That was loud.
Bella is such a bitch. No. Up. Yeah.
Oh, doggy. The beautiful doggy.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the kisses.
Yeah, so my lightsaber building was also at 9 a.m., right around the same time as yours. I left the Grand Floridian at 8 a.m. and it still took me 40 minutes to get all the way over there. So I got there around 8:40-ish, and I hightailed it back there. The line was already a 2-hour wait for Smuggler's Run because I was trying to see if I would be able to sneak in.
Smuggler's Run or Rise of the Resistance?
No, Smuggler's Run, the Millennium Falcon ride.
Okay.
So that morning I woke up at 7 a.m. because that's when you're allowed to try to book your time for the first not Smuggler's Run, the Rise of the Resistance. It was already sold out at 7:02 in the morning. So I didn't get a go on it. So whatever. I was also there in July. I'm sure it's much busier than it's going to be when you're there.
Yeah,
your fast pass thing that you've got, you said you can just immediately book a time to get on Rise of the Resistance.
You actually what they've done now is called a lightning thing, and you pay just a flat fee and you get to go on Rise of the Resistance. So gotcha. You do that, and but then they also have the Genie Plus, because there's the Lightning Pass, which is I'll pay and I get to ride it at a certain time.
Oh, okay.
Genie Plus is you pay, and for the whole day you kind of get the faster lines.
Oh, okay.
But it's $15 per person per day. So you're looking at, with my family, it's a $90 surcharge. Oof. Which they're making a whole lot of money. Yep. It's no question. This is probably going to be our last time going to Disney for quite a while. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So we're only buying the Genie Plus on on the day we're going to be at Hollywood Studios.
Oh, cool.
So everything else, because with us, with the Christmas party, they only allow a certain amount of people to be in the park after a certain time.
Okay.
So we're probably going to get on every ride we want there.
Nice.
And then
is that after 10 o'clock or something? You get from 10
I think it's
to
9 o'clock is the cutoff nice. For everybody else, and then we're there from 9 till 1 a.m. if we want to be.
That's pretty dope.
Letha said that she'll probably take some of the kids and go back to the hotel a little bit early. Nice. Probably the younger ones, and then my older ones will probably stick with me and
awesome
run until on the gauntlet.
What hotel are you staying at? It's a good question, huh?
I can tell you it's one of the newest ones.
Oh, cool.
It's one of the newest ones. I think it's called the Riviera Resort.
Oh, cool. I'm not familiar with that one.
Yeah, they just opened it. We were there in 2018 the last time we went. I want to say they just opened it in the middle of at the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020.
Right on.
Wait, they might have opened it right after COVID. I can't remember anymore.
Gotcha. That's cool. Well, hopefully it's a nice experience for you.
Yeah, I can pull that up right now. But yeah, so it's only a year old, and ooh. Dave, it's a part of the my brother's a part of the Disney Vacation Club. So the Riviera Resort. Yeah, nice. That's what it is. So
does it have a specific theme?
Nice. Huh?
Does it have a specific theme or anything?
I think it's the Riviera.
What theme would that be?
Spanish Riviera.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Disney Riviera.
Have you made the decision at once upon a time you were talking about letting some of the kids build droids?
We talked about it. Probably not gonna happen.
Okay.
So it's the Disney European Artists with Magic Only. Yeah, it looks like Europe.
Okay.
Disney fell in love with once upon a time. So yeah, it's just why is it so expensive is what I just came across. So yeah. And it's right next to Epcot and Disney Hollywood Studios.
Oh,
it's like
perfect.
right there. So it's got the gondola or like the sky rider or whatever. So whatever the case may be,
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a quick 4-day trip. We land on Friday. We fly out on Tuesday.
You're hitting all 4 parks in those days?
Yeah, like I said, that first day we're cutting it up between Animal Kingdom and Epcot. The second day is Magic Kingdom. The third day is just Hollywood Studios, and then we fly out afternoon on
nice.
Tuesday, and so we'll be home by we land back here in Indy at 3:45, nice. Something like that. So we won't have much time to do anything on Tuesday. So.
Right. That's still awesome, man. That's gonna be such a fun trip for you.
It'd be great.
When I went over the summer, it was my first time since '95 that I was in Disney, so a lot was different. Being an adult there was way different, but I had a blast. So you taking the kids, I'm sure, is going to be a lot of fun for you. And how many? This is your 4th time in 4 years or something, though, right? Haven't you guys been doing it almost every year?
No. We this is our 3rd time in 9 years.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, 6 years. 6 years. Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say it felt like there was a lot of times you were going.
We did it. We've done it every 3 years: 15, 18, and 21. So,
okay,
yeah,
nice.
This will be the 3rd time in 6 years. So, yeah,
very cool. Well, I look forward to our last episode of this year because we will get to talk about your whole trip. We'll get to talk about your lightsaber. And then that episode, we're going to talk about the stuff that we enjoyed watching during 2021. So we'll probably put up a poll later this month and see what other people really enjoyed from this year. Right now, Ghostbusters is probably at the top of my list.
I've got my top. I already have my top 5.
You already have your top 5? You don't think The Matrix is going to cut into that, or Spider-Man?
No. They could. They definitely could. But as of right now, I already have my top 5. I've already looking through everything. I did that a week ago. I was like, what are my top 5? So
awesome.
I got it, and I'm ready for that episode already. And obviously it's change, but who knows?
Yep. I look forward to watching. Oh, you'll already have been back from Disney by the time we get to go see Spider-Man together.
Yeah, we get to see Spider-Man on the 16th. Mm-hmm. I'm taking my boys to see it.
That'll be fun.
I'm pumped. Hopefully it's well done. So, yeah.
So obviously there's been all kinds of leaked stuff that's claiming that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in this movie. I literally think it would be the most genius thing of Marvel to do, to have all of this leaked stuff that they did, and then the two of them never show up in the entire movie.
So we saw a movie that completely changed with the end credit sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ruin it, but you and I watched it, and it has to do with this movie. And everybody's theorizing why the lizard's head goes in a certain direction or whatever. Sure. And I'm like, what if that's the other one and not either one of those two? That would be hilarious.
I agree.
So, I thought about that the other day and went, oh, that would be so much fun if it did. But I also want to, Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, it's not canon. So as far as the MCU goes, but I hope I get to have a lot of fun, and I hope they're not doing too much. I could easily see how they could fall on their face with this movie. But I'm hoping that they did it well enough that I seriously enjoy it. And
it's funny that you bring up Into the Spider-Verse, because what I was going to say is what I really hope would happen. I would be happier than Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire being in this is if we finally got a live action Miles Morales in this movie.
Oh yeah, that'd
be cool. Set up if they're bringing in all this other stuff, give me a live action Miles Morales to move forward with, either in the Sony universe or the MCU version or whatever it now creates between them all.
You say that, and what goes through my head is I hope he isn't. If they give us Miles Morales, I hope it's something as easy and as how they gave us oh my goodness, who becomes Captain Marvel in WandaVision.
Oh, so, yeah, I got you.
Ms. Marvel, whichever version you want to call that, but she was called Captain Marvel when I read comic books.
Sure.
So, but yeah, like give me something where it's like Miles Morales shows up. Maybe Danny Glover is like in the neighborhood and he's walking around with Miles Morales.
Sure.
Something along those. Give me, and he's trying to rehabilitate himself, whatever the case, like give me something where like just kind of plants that Miles is there.
Sure.
And then you can elaborate on that because they've already, for anybody who hasn't read the news lately, they've already admitted that they're doing another trilogy of Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland that take place in the MCU. So yeah, I'm fine. But let's not throw Miles Morales in here and give him a really quick beginning. Like let him organically feed into this, because I think I was never a huge fan. I never read the comics with him in it.
Sure. Neither did I.
But he seems like a cool character, especially from Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. So I want him to have his just desserts, man. Like, I don't want you to just give him something just because you can. And hopefully they don't, because it's the MCU. They hardly ever do that. Hopefully they give it to him so he can grow organically. I still think they screwed up with Spider-Man though. When they first brought him along, they screwed it up.
I don't. I like the way they did it. He was already Spider-Man. Like I didn't need another origin story.
No, I don't want another origin story. I just think the first time you should have met Spider-Man was on the tarmac in Germany. Like it should have been you should not have met Peter Parker before that moment. Because you have the whole sequence of Tony Stark in Peter Parker's.
Okay, yeah. I'm following you.
I'm following him to go to there.
Yep,
and
I'm following you.
To me personally, and I can't remember if I've said it on our podcast or not, but I think what would have been a whole lot cooler is if you would have cut that entire sequence out of Civil War. So you don't see him meet Peter Parker and convince him to come with him to Germany. That it just. The first time you ever see Peter Parker or Spider-Man, it's him going under ruse and him flipping over and stealing Cap's shield. And then the first scene in Spider-Man Homecoming should have been that sequence of them meeting for the first time. And I think organically it would have felt a whole lot better. It would have been cool because we didn't need a backstory on Spider-Man and when did he meet Spider-Man. Like he's just Spider-Man. Like he's awesome. So
and the last thing I want to talk about real quick before we wrap this up, last year, or the very first episode of this year, we talked about our 2020 movies that we liked, and in the opening of that one I talked about the fact that we had done 25 episodes and 4 bonus episodes, plus the commentary track for Halloween and the commentary track, or the Consternate 20th anniversary reunion. Adding all of that together got us about to the 2,500 minute mark for 2020. Today, I sent the numbers to you. We have done 30 episodes this year, and we are at 3,329 minutes before tonight's episode and the one at the end of 2021. So we eclipsed what we did last year. I am so happy that a year later we're still here. I remember at the beginning of this year at 2021, we were texting at one point and I told you, like, I'm not sure if we're going to last the whole year. Like, I don't know, what's going to happen once, we go back to work or, go back to work and then both of us leave work. Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. So I'm very happy that you have stuck with me and that we're a year later, and hopefully we're going to do more. Who knows where we're going to end? I don't know if we'll make it to 100 episodes. I don't know what's going to happen next year with us, but I'm very happy with the amount of content that we have put out this year and that we're still here. And then we got one more episode to do after this one. So that's my Christmas happiness from you for this year, and I appreciate that. Thanks for the thumbs up, man.
You're welcome.
Audio people had no idea what you were doing. They were like, he's literally just leaving him hanging after he pours his heart out to Jason for how much he loves him. Yeah, okay, yeah, throw up. That's fine. So anyway, we are taking the next couple of weeks off. Jason's going to Florida. I'm going to enjoy watching as many Christmas movies as possible. None of them will be in my top 5 of 2021, but we will get back together, and we will talk to you guys in about 3 weeks. The last episode will come out on New Year's Eve, and we will get ready for 2022. Goodbye, Olaf.